Absolutely.
Like that's very important to understand, because when you try and when you trust on believing on that, you will never feel that you're missing out on something.
Right.
Have you heard of the burnt toast theory?
Yes,
Like,
I have.
I feel like that's fantastic. I feel like that applies a lot
Yes,
here.
yes.
In our language, we call it kannu tagichi repik tagi.
Yes.
Basically, like what was supposed to hit your eye, hit your
That's right.
eye.
Yeah.
And I think that's beautiful because you're probably missing out on something or getting late for something to avoid like an accident
Something
or
else.
something.
I feel I always have this one quote in my mind that I don't want to die as an unknown citizen.
Okay.
So if I see my 7-year-old self, like she would be proud of me of where I am. I was a very lazy girl. I never used to do anything. I used to be that spoiled brat, like, you know, everybody used to call me dad's princess. So I used to always be that girl. So I feel I have worked really hard. Like I was a healthy kid. I was 70 kgs. So from that coming to what I am right now, I feel it took in courage. Like I stay without my family. My family is in Shimla. I stay here alone. And for me, working every day, putting myself out there, like I'm that a very social person. Like I love being around people. So I legit attend like 5 to 7 events in a day.
Welcome back to another episode of Success Decoded. This one is really exceptional and I'm so excited about this. Not only because, as you can see, the setting is quite different, so we're giving this a go, but also because of the topic that we're going to be talking about today. So we're talking about content creation, and we're talking content creation with Gen Z. So what I hear a lot from maybe older generations is, but how do you communicate with Gen Z, or are they really socially and emotionally aware? And I always say, actually, yes, I find them to be the most aware generation. The awareness is huge. But unfortunately, because they're over inundated with social media and everything else, it's what to do with that. But these three ladies, they actually know exactly what to do with that. That's the reason why they've been so successful, each in their own ways, because they have been able to develop their emotional intelligence and also their resilience to be successful. And they're going to talk about that today. So welcome to Success Decoded, everybody. I'm going to introduce these lovely ladies right now. I'm so excited to be here, all women all together. So we'll start with Prerna. Welcome. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much. She brings this amazing charm. Sweet, 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 amazing charm. She's relatable, warm, and will make you feel like she's talking directly through the screen, which I felt that way being here. And what I've seen, it's really amazing. So welcome, welcome. Sarah, thank you for being here today. Gorgeous as ever, gorgeous as ever. So you tell it like it is. You are that friend, right? Which we all appreciate, having that friend that tells it like it is. The one who calls you out, but also hypes you up, right? So welcome, welcome. Thank you for being here. I can't wait to hear from you today. And Krishma, thank you for being here. Very stylish, very, very stylish. So you're the calm one until you're not, which I appreciate also. So you've got what it takes, and today we want everything. So you're gonna put it all on the table. Okay, welcome for being here. All right, so let me ask you first, if you don't mind, what is it really like being Gen Z today? So this is the topic, okay? So how would you describe your generation in 3 words? What would they be?
I think aware is one word I would describe them with, for sure. Also more carefree,
Okay.
and resilient.
And resilient.
Yeah,
Okay,
definitely.
fantastic, amazing. Okay, what do you think?
I feel we are very much living in the moment. We really know that what's happening. So I feel we are very carefree in the way. And I also feel that we know, like, we do not hide our emotions. I feel that's very important. We are very vocal about our emotions, and we become like, you know, that we express our emotions. So I feel we are more expressive in that way. And I also feel that we are very aware of what's happening around us. Like, you know, all the things that are happening around us. So I feel we are very aware of the things around us.
Does it ever become too much? Let me ask you that, like being hyper aware of things, or do you ever feel like you're overly emotional?
I feel that it's very important to, you know, express your emotions, to be out there, to talk about your feelings, because it just, you know, it's very important to vent out things. And I personally feel that as Gen Zs, we can talk about it. Like, I feel so many things we are aware about, we talk about it, and we're accessible to, I feel. Right now in the generation, we can go for therapies. We have that. And I feel even social media in a way is very beneficial because we can put out our thoughts, our expressions out there.
Amazing. And therapy is great. I always support therapy. Any age, I support therapy. So Krishna, please, because you're going to tell us how it really is. So please give us your 3 words.
So I feel like it's more developed in their own skill set, like Gen Zs are very developed, very fast. They want things to be quick. They're very aware. They're accessible. They are technical in their own way. They know what they're doing. Like they are not someone who will plan things up and do. They'll do it and they'll be like, okay, this is what I want. Okay. I don't want to wait. I don't want to have that 1 second of pause. So I think more developed, more technical, and more aware. They're very aware. They're very fast. Something that I think the world or the growth has like taught in this whole content journey.
Okay.
So yeah, that's
okay.
About it.
And what would you say is one stereotype that is completely wrong about your generation?
I think people always tend to assume that we're carefree to an extent where we're very unserious.
Mm-hmm.
In a lot of ways, we are. But I feel like in places in things that matter, situations that matter, we can also bring forward a lot of emotional intelligence, which is very important.
And what's one thing that's actually true? What's one stereotype that is actually true?
I think it is about the fact that we are unserious. We are in a lot of ways, but we also aren't in a lot of ways. So it's like a contrast.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. And what do you think?
So I feel the stereotypical approach that we have about Gen Zs is that we are too vocal about our things, which we are in a way, but sometimes you're meant to say that, okay, this is not right. So I feel that is something that is very stereotypical. And one thing that I feel that is true about us is that we are right out there. Like I personally feel like we love, we are expressive about the fact that we love what we do and we express about that. So yeah.
So you're vocal about
Yes,
it. You put it out there. What do you think?
So I think the one thing that I feel is the part where they feel like, okay, this is not something that they will fit in.
Yeah.
Like Gen Zs nowadays, the way they're growing, they particularly, most of us feel like, okay, they're not fitting in the, generation, in the space that we are in, the way things are growing. They make quick decisions.
Mm-hmm.
They don't take a pause.
Yeah.
So I think that's something that people feel like people don't understand. A lot of other millennials or the other, people don't understand that, but they are very, vocal about it.
Okay. Let me ask you a question about that, because one of the complaints that I often get when I have, for example, if I'm working with Gen X's or even baby boomers or even like millennials, so like the older generations, if you will, or I'm a millennial, so I'm older, I guess, but older generation is the communication thing, right? So what I'm hearing from all of you is that the mindset is quite different. I agree with you 1,000%. I think the mindset is very forward. It is that you have a lot of information, you've been able to synthesize that information and you make these choices and you're very vocal about it. So I definitely get all of that. But there is sometimes a gap between communicating that with other generations. So obviously you three have done very well at doing that because your audience base isn't just your Gen Zs, right? You have everybody there. So you've been able to communicate. What's one tip you would give your own generation for those people that are struggling to not just, I'm not talking about talking, I'm talking about you actually want to get something done and achieve and you want to be understood. So how do you do that when you have to communicate to other generations? Because your mindset's very different, right? So what would you say?
I think it's very important to be very authentic with your storytelling.
Okay.
People right now, nowadays in this generation, want to see you. Want to see your voice the way you are. They don't want you to predict that, okay, this is something I want to tell the people or I want to educate the people with. They want to know that, okay, this is me and this is how I want to tell my story to people.
Right.
So I think that's the tip, that authenticity is the key to, everything, I feel. The more authentic you are, the more vocal you are about what you are, take it any generation, they'll be able to adapt it. Not just understand, they'll adapt it. Okay, this is how the generation is growing.
Yeah.
This is how fast they are. This is how they, pick choices.
Right.
This is what they want in their life.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's the tip I can say. Like, it's very important to be authentic with your story, your voice, your, whole journey.
Yeah. I love authenticity. So authenticity actually is the emotion that vibrates the strongest. We think that it's happiness or even anger, but it's actually authenticity. People, you sense that, right? And that's, as content creators, you want authenticity because that's what brings people in, right? But how do you manage other generations if they're looking at you a certain way? Like, how have you navigated that in your career? Like to make sure that you are being seen, that you are being understood, because you're all businesswomen also, right? So how do you interact with other generations or even with your own generation to make sure that you're communicating in a way that you are best understood and that you achieve what you want to achieve? Not just you, but other people that are working with you, right? Because we're all in business, that's what you're doing, it's relationships. So how do you do that?
So I personally feel that it's very important to embrace yourself as you are, like to be authentic. So I feel that I'm that one person, like my audience has to resonate with me, like what I do, what I am interested in. So I feel it's very important when you are yourself, the universe aligns. That's what I totally believe in. And for my audience also, like I'm very authentic in the way that if I like something particular, I cannot follow trends. Like that is with me, my profile itself. Like I cannot do something that's trendy because that is not me. So I like embracing my own self. And I feel people of my generation would also understand this, that that this is something that resonates with her. So I feel that is very important to embrace yourself as you are and not to change according to trends that's happening, because trends keep on changing every day. So I feel it's very important to be authentic in your own self altogether.
How have you embraced authenticity?
I think
You have a very authentic feeling, so I know you do it. So please tell me how you do
I
that.
think I do relate to both of them a lot. I do say this like when I talk to other people too. It's very important for you to be raw and real, because there are two kinds of creators I've come across. Like when I really have to categorize them, there are aspirational creators and then there are relatable creators. So for me, my whole journey has been very relatable to a lot of people, because they kind of relate to it in terms of like how I grew. And I had a very slow growth as a content creator. I didn't boom in a day. It took me years to actually grow and build my platform. So I think that for them, just seeing that there is a human sitting behind the camera. This is not unachievable to them. If you just put in a little work and if you're passionate about something, you can make anything happen. I feel like that's what a lot of my audience really relates to. The real story, I think.
How have your families or your friends, I know your mom is here, so
My
how
mom
has
is here.
your friends and families reacted to what you're doing as, and I'll put this in like career choice, right? Because I don't even know if we're framing it that way. This is a life choice,
Yes,
right?
it's a
So
life choice.
exactly. So like how have people responded to that? Maybe I'll have Krishna start.
Yeah. So for me, I think it's been a decade of me into content journey. So when I started initially, it was not as as easy as it looked. Like people never understood what content creation is, what influencing is, what is. They used to just compare. Okay, she's just being a model,
Yeah.
but it's not. And I'm trying to portray a very different structure of mine, which I am.
Yes.
So I think over the time it was difficult for them to adapt it, but then they knew that okay, she is not someone who'll just stop because we are telling her to stop.
Mm-hmm.
Because I had this one thing that I used to always tell my parents, my family, that give me 3 reasons you don't like this side of me.
Okay.
Like there always has to be something that makes them realize what they're doing is not wrong.
Mm.
And in that generation, when we started, it was very difficult. People were never, because there was no reels. There was just a static post.
Right.
There were blogs when we used to create our content. And
Yeah.
now the whole trend is about reels.
Yes.
So the whole journey has been very different, very adaptive, very strong for my family. There was an incident. It's a recent incident of my life. So I'm now into automobiles.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So I ride bikes.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah.
So there was this one time when my brother was just questioning me that tomorrow you have your ride and how are you planning to do it? Because I was like, I don't know how to ride a gear bike. And this was, I think, back then 1.5, 2 years back. And I was like, okay, fine, I have to at least do it.
Yeah.
He's not there. No one is there to help me. What will I do? I just randomly took his bike. And the whole day I was just understanding the bike. I took time to understand, okay, this is how you have to do it. This is how you want to do it.
Yeah.
And the other day, it was just, I think, frequent second, it was very adaptive. I was able to ride it.
Yeah.
So, and the other day I told my dad that, okay, this is the bike that we are planning and I want to particularly plan to take it in the next 2026. And my dad was like, okay, yes, you should just go for it. And my brother is like, I am telling you since 10 years that I want a motorcycle and you're not allowing me to take a motorcycle because you have the fear of, getting accidents or losing the life and all. But how are you allowing her?
Yeah.
So then came a phase when my dad is like that. It's not that I used to feel that you would not do it, but when she's doing it, it's just a very different vibe in the family that okay, someone strong is doing it. And in my family, no one rides a bike except me as a female rider. So I feel like over the time, the journey, the whole content side with family has adapted. they have accepted the fact that children's and the generation nowadays is not going to stop.
Yeah.
They're going to evolve in their own ways. They're going to innovate it, and they are that person that, for them, being authentic is more important. Innovation is more important. But it's not like they can't do it.
Yeah, this is actually wonderful. So this is part of the Success Decode that we bring up here with a couple different things. One is conversation. So you engage them in a conversation, which is, I have to say, there's a lot of blessings for your family though, because they were receptive to that, right? Which is always, I know there's probably people watching out there, and I can't wait to get into your stories as well about probably the family isn't always going to be as receptive, but you three have been able to be like starting to go out there so you can show as an example that it is totally possible to be living your authentic self as you would like to, and in an area that maybe wasn't being considered as a lifestyle if you were previously. So that's wonderful that you've been able to do it, but most importantly that you communicate with them and said, please give me the reasoning, and that you showed them, and then it's very important.
Otherwise, people will never understand what something they can't do it.
So please tell me, how did your family respond to this?
Right now it's a very funny story, like, because we keep kind of remembering that this was what actually happened, but I come from a family of businessmen and businesswomen, so everyone expects everyone in the family to have a very stable career, and as per them a stable career comes from doing a business or working in the corporate industry, and no one has actually leaned in towards the creative field in my family, so I was like the black sheep. And so when I first started, it was just with my mom's phone. It was like a hobby, and I liked uploading videos, putting my ideas and creative vision out there, hoping people resonated with my work. So they just saw it as, okay, she's just doing that, side by side with her academics, and it's just going to be a hobby. It's not going to turn into something full time. And I actually didn't intend for it to turn into something full time either. I shifted to Mumbai to do fashion journalism. I did a 3-month internship, and in that time my content started blowing up, and I realized that I did have enough, I made enough to pay off my rent and my other bills via content creation. So when I kind of brought that forward to them, there was like a lot there was a lot to it. I mean, they didn't really react in the best way, because rightfully so, they come from a generation where they want me to have a stable job and a stable income coming in, and the content industry is still, it's very new. It's like a baby for them. It was, what is this, like your entire job is going to be getting likes on your picture,
right? How does that work? How do you monetize that like?
How does this pay you, like? And there's no structure, like there's no 9 to 5. You don't get paid at the end of every month because the payment structure is very different. And we still actually struggle with it. I'm sure we get paid every 60, 90 days sometimes. So, you need to lock in on a big deal so that you get,
stretch it.
Kind of, So they were obviously very worried about it. And my dad told me, he said, what would you intend to do? Like, at least keep a backup, because with the Indian society, they always expect you, and I don't know if this happens in your culture as well, but from my personal experience, always have a plan B, always have a backup. But I was like, if I have a plan B, then I won't give that much, focus on my plan A. So it's like, I have to just focus on one thing, instead of having like a safety net to fall back on. And I told my dad, you give me a year. If I make it work, I stay here. If I don't, I come back. I work, because he owns a restaurant back home. So it's like, I work in the restaurant. But if I do well, I stay here. And he said, okay, if you're saying it with that much confidence, you might be onto something. So he's like, fine. And touch wood, it did actually end up working. I put in a lot of work, and it's going pretty well. And now they're the most supportive people in the world. Like, they're extremely supportive. Once they see that you're doing well, I don't think they're against the fact that they want you to do something you like. They just want you to be happy, but at the same time they expect you to kind of have finances come in and be safe and stable.
Right. I mean, I think this is, again, really great. Success Decoded here is having those conversations, right? Really just, I mean, they will, granted, there's going to be resistance, right? I mean, there's going to be resistance initially from, even if they love you and they support, it's actually probably because they love you and they support you, they're worried, right? And because it's new, human nature, when it's new, we reject it, we resist it, etc. So just having those very frank conversations, I think really strategic to be like, I promise in 1 year if it doesn't work.
Because you have to be very patient with them. They come from a different generation. Their mindset is completely different. And I don't think they've had such open conversations with their parents. Because it was very, this is what you're supposed to do and you do it.
Yeah, exactly.
But now we're kind of rebelling and we're having these conversations, so that they're also kind of taken aback at the same time.
Yeah.
But they're patient enough to listen to you, and I feel like anything is possible with communication.
And this is amazing.
I think it's very important.
You can come talk to my daughter at any time about this. My daughter is not quite there yet, but if she decides, it's exactly that. Being patient, it works both ways, right?
Yeah,
and I think having awareness, which is what, again, this generation has a huge amount of awareness. So awareness that it's a different generation, it's a different way of communicating, it's a different idea, different mindset. So be patient. Patience works on both sides, right? Please, I can't wait to hear your part. I mean, your mom's right here, right?
My mom is right
she's
out here.
so-
She's right there to
Okay.
support me
Yeah.
always. So I am not from Bombay, I'm from Shimla. So I come from a whole new city altogether. So I started it 2 years back, and I never knew about it that, you know, it would fetch you monetary funds. And just like that, I had always had a keen, you know, towards dressing well. Like I've always seen my mom dressing well, doing her makeup. So I always, you know, used to be very keen. Okay, so I was very fascinated towards fashion and beauty. But I never knew, you know, that it could get you monetary funds altogether. So I started making Get Ready With Me videos in Shimla back then. And by God's grace, I was very lucky enough that, you know, one of my reels just took off. And I started reaching out to brands and all, and brands also started reaching out to me. And all together, you know, I shifted to Bombay. And I still remember, you know, it was all a journey altogether, because I feel it takes courage. But I also feel this, that when you love something and when you're passionate about something, you do excel in life. And I feel passion and aptitude go hand in hand. So it's very important altogether to, you know, listen to your heart, because, you know, I was that one girl, like my dad was like, you know, what would you do? Like, you know, like, would you be able to make a career out of it? But I told my dad that, Dad, I love it. And, you know, when I'm in front of the camera, when I dress well, I feel myself. And I feel that's very important when you're happy in your own career. Like, you know, you don't take it as something that's imposed to you. Like, I've done psychology, I've done masters in psychology. I still love psychology as a subject because I used to love bettering people's life. So I feel I always wanted to become a psychologist. But then this part of my life just took a turn, and it just gets me happiness like nothing else. So for me, my work is my worship. I, you know, live to work. So that is how it is for me. And my parents have been very supportive. So, you know, like my mom, you know, she's always been there for me since day one. Like, you know, she's always my hype woman. You know, she's always cheering me up, you know, Sarah. She's right there, and she's like, you know, twin with me, go for this event, what do you want to wear? So she's always there for me. And even my dad, like, you know, he hates getting clicked, but he's a pookie in front of me. I have to legit force him, Dad, please, for content, I need a picture of you, please help me out, and all of that. So I feel touched with, by God's grace, I have had that social support in my life, and I feel that's very important. But I had to make, you know, them explain that, you know, that's my job, and you need to respect that, you know, I might ask you that click thousands of pictures of me, because that's my job and that's what I get paid for. And, you know, I just want that. And I feel my family content also goes really well, because being a Genz, you know, I'm that one girl that for me, family is everything. And I feel it's so important, you know, to be around your family, to know, you know, what it is. And when you have that support, I feel nothing is impossible for you, and you have to listen to your heart. And yes, and then, you know, it just works. Everything resonates with it.
What advice would you give? And I'll ask all of you the same question. What advice would you give to the person that's struggling, that wants to be a content creator? They feel this is their authentic self. This is what they want to do, but they're having a moment of self-doubt. Because I'm sure you've had, maybe you can talk to us a little bit about a moment you had of self-doubt and what you did to overcome it, because I'm sure that's very relatable to many people out there.
So I feel when I shifted all over to Bombay altogether, I feel being with so many people around, like for me, like, you know, me going to my first event, it was like, you know, a huge thing, like with so many people around, you know, everybody's dressed well, everybody's looking their best. So I had in me like, you know, okay, am I dressed appropriately? Is everything all right? Am I looking good? And I feel when you're in this field, you do get this sense of self-doubt that, am I striving my best? Because there's, you know, so many things around happening which you're like, there's certain events you're not invited to, there's certain collaborations which you do not get hold of while you're doing your best. But then you feel deep inside that what's wrong with me? You know, like there's something that I need to change in myself, is something that's not resonating with my profile altogether. So I feel that I have, by God's grace, I've overcome that phase in my life. Like I used to feel that FOMO. Oh, I'm not invited to that event. What's happening? Like, you know, my content is not speaking for itself. I'm not getting that collaboration inspiration. But I feel later, sooner or later, you need to realize this, that everything is not meant for you. Maybe your profile does not go for this brand campaign, but maybe something else is written, like something else more better than this is written for you. So I feel it's very important that you should know that everybody has their own unique qualities, like everybody is unique in their own self, and you are different, and you have to embrace that yes, I am different, accept yourself, and never change for people around you. I feel you don't have to fix the parameter, oh, I need to look in a certain way, I need to just be in the societal background altogether. I feel you need to embrace yourself and accept yourself, and just know that you are the main character of your own life, and people would accept you if they want to.
Yeah, and keep on pushing through that, right?
Yes.
Because I'm sure you had those moments of doubt, like you said, but
yes.
you've gotten over the FOMO, which I would love to talk about in a moment, because that's a great thing for people to go over. But thank you, please.
Yes. And I also want to say that I'm that one person, like I'm that extra girl. So for me also, like I have always been that girl who used to overdress and underdress. So for me, I was like, because Lady Gaga was my inspiration, so I've always seen Lady Gaga dressing up. So I was like, I want to be the main character, I want to be the Kim of the family, dress, overdress. So I feel that I don't want to change that part of me. Like I just don't want to change that. If I am extra, I am extra. If something is meant for me, I don't want to change myself for people around me. I feel it's so important to be comfortable in your own self, and everybody would adjust. So just be yourself, and you don't have to change a thing about you. The world could change.
Yeah, amazing. Krishma, what do you think?
So for me, I'd say that the belief of what you're creating content is very important, because when you know that if you're creating certain content, you need to trust that process. It may take a lot of time. So for me, when I started content creation, I started with fashion. Fashion was my core, and the whole idea was that skinny girls can't dress well. Skinny girls can't ride a bike. Skinny girls can't wear certain clothes. Skinny girls have to particularly wear clothes, but they can't wear certain kind of clothes. They can't skin show themselves. So I was like, when I started, my whole idea was that I want to educate or make content in that way, that it's not relatable to just fashion people. It's relatable to every girl who wants to just dress up well.
Right.
Like, the whole idea of, wearing everything you want to, but which suits you.
Right, suits you. Right.
Yeah, so that was the tip that I would give to the people who are struggling with the whole idea of content is like, you need to first find your niche, what you're trying to do, why you want to do that confidently is very important. See, for creators also, confidence builds up within the journey. It's not that we just were very confident so we're creating content. It was never that. The whole idea was that we started with a base to do something that we want to do, came in the middle of a phase where we are doing it because we see people and we want them to do the way we are also doing it. Because if I can do it, you can also do it, the whole idea. And then comes the phase that, okay, I want to work with certain kind of brands who can resonate with what I want to do in a more authentic way. That's something that I'll tell everyone, like in the whole content space, the girls around it. You don't want to create content, but create yourself with the content. So that's the whole tip I'd like to say.
Self-authentic led, absolutely. And how would you suggest if somebody's struggling, they're creating the content, they really want to do what they feel passionate about, they're getting kind of like the low on it, what would you advise them on?
I think first it's very important for them to acknowledge that self-doubt is a very human emotion, and it's happened to all of us. Like if you see a content creator with 1 million followers or someone with 10k followers, everyone through every phase has been through self-doubt. Like it's a very common thing. And if you're in fact going through self-doubt, it's probably because you care so deeply about your content that you are actually doubting that, oh, it's not reaching a lot of people. I want my art to kind of reach a lot of people and resonate with people. I personally had so many experiences. I feel like even now, because the algorithm is so unpredictable, sometimes, when you don't get the kind of views on a project that you put a lot of passion and work into, it does kind of make you feel like, oh, does my audience not resonate with my kind of content anymore? So that's completely normal. But what they need to remember first is, I'm making this content piece for myself, so I poured my heart and soul into it. That is one. So that quality that you bring to the table matters way more than the numbers, because the numbers keep fluctuating, and they shouldn't really kind of associate numbers with value. I think that's very important. Once they take that factor away, that your followers don't actually that doesn't, you don't associate that with the value you bring to the table. The quality of your content does, and you focus on your work. I feel like you'll acquire an audience that actually resonates with your work and resonates with you as a person, instead of just someone who probably followed you because you're trending during that time.
That period,
Yeah.
yes, exactly.
So I think that just maintaining that and just posting that kind of work, that is very important. And apart from the self-doubt, just keeping that in mind, that no, I bring this quality to the table, and believing in yourself, I think that changes everything. Just saying that I will be consistent throughout no matter what happens, that's gotten me a lot of places personally. That's my personal experience. Like, there have been moments where I've been like, okay, maybe this isn't for me, but I've had friends and like family be like, no, you bring so much to the table, this is the quality of work, like focus on that right now. And you need that push from people sometimes, because we as humans are social creatures.
Right.
But at the same time, just this unbelievable, like unshakable faith that if anyone can make it, it's me. That is very important. So even in moments of self-doubt, just keep pushing yourself.
It's amazing emotional maturity. So thank you very much, which leads me into this question, which is a great segue into it. So you must have had to mature emotionally a little bit quicker, maybe, because again, there's a little bit of distance between you and your community, and between people's opinions and judgments and things like that, but there's not that much, right? And it does affect you. So do you feel that you have grown emotionally maybe faster than your peers?
I do feel like I have to, but content creation does have something to do with it. But I think it's also personal experiences that I had in life that just made me grow faster. Like, yes, I did have a wonderful childhood, but I feel like I had to bring a lot of maturity into the table earlier on to kind of understand a lot of people around me. Content creation does do that to you too, because when you start, you get very affected by things happening, and especially when your videos go viral, you attract a community that probably doesn't resonate that much with your work. Trolls as well. People probably just having bad days on the internet, but they kind of use you as a punching bag. That happens a lot on the internet. So when I did start, I didn't expect that kind of hate for no reason. Like, it was just like, if I'm talking about an educational fashion topic, why do you have to talk about what I'm wearing? Because you should focus on the knowledge. But I feel like that affects you a lot when you're younger, because I started very early on. I'm 23 now, and I started when I was 19. So as a 19-year-old, you don't have a lot of opinions formed. You're still you have a lot of self-doubt. You have a lot of self-esteem issues. I did personally. So for me, that was a hit. It was like, what is happening? I'm just trying to put out content. Like, why are they coming at my face, my body, my skin tone, all of that? Because you're really putting yourself out there to the public eye, and nothing prepares you for that kind of negativity all of a sudden. But obviously with growth, you realize that one thing I always say in whenever we have these discussions is, if a troll is commenting on your video, that means your video is going to go viral, because it's reaching a community that it probably wouldn't reach. So that's another positive outlook to look at it that I probably wouldn't have when I was 19. And you reach a point where just like so confident now, because you're so used to being in front of the camera, you're so used to talking to people. Like at 19, I'd probably stutter to even have a conversation in a room full of people. But it really teaches you a lot. It grows, like you grow a lot as a person. So I feel like I can handle hate much better. I don't directly let that project on me. I just go like, okay, they're having a bad day. That's okay. Like, your content has nothing to do with this. And you do develop a lot. Like you kind of grow a lot, mature a lot. And in all ways, I think I feel like in every aspect of my life, be it communication, be it putting myself out there, because I'm a homebody. And this job gets me out there actually talking to people, which I used to not do. So that in that aspect, actually networking with people, and in every aspect of my life, I feel like it does bring in a lot of maturity. So I do feel like putting yourself out there does make you a little more mature. But it does differ, because there are other people who have had different experiences which have probably given them a greater sense of maturity in their own way. So I feel like maturity might just differ for different people.
No, for sure. I mean, but the thing that's consistent through all of it is that in order to be mature and to grow, you have to make yourself uncomfortable at some point, right? Definitely. So definitely the field that you're in makes you uncomfortable. There's a lot of moments of being uncomfortable, right? But that's how you grow. You grow through those moments of being uncomfortable. And in those moments of being uncomfortable, you probably, and I can see Sarah's like nodding her head over here, so we're going to get into it, is setting those boundaries. So can you tell us a little bit about how you set healthy boundaries? Because you have to, right? I mean, I would think like work-life balance boundaries, maybe also boundaries with your community as well. You have to set them. So how are they easy to set? Is it hard to set? I mean, is that a journey that you went on? Do you feel like you're good at it now? I mean, you just said there's no more fear of missing out, right? Which is fantastic. Yeah, which is fantastic. That's a big one about setting that boundary. There's no more fear. That's actually a self boundary that you've set within yourself. But how would you say you've defined boundaries?
So I feel we are so out there that, we are so accessible to like our community altogether. Like they know our family, everybody in our family. So I feel it's very important to set a boundary altogether, because like for me, like if I'm posting a video with my mom, like, or with my family, so they're not just talking about me, they're talking about my family altogether. Like, if it gets viral, so it's like, it's right out there. And, there've been certain instances where I have posted like, get ready with me, and I've had those hate comments altogether. So I feel it's very important to set that boundary, and to be just like, just tell your belongings also that, this is something that, this is my career. Like I put myself out there. So I feel this is going to come to me. And I feel that, there would be a certain group of people who would hate you no matter what happens. You might be the juiciest peach in a room, but there would be someone who would say, I don't like peaches. So I feel that's very important, that you have to set a boundary that, okay, this is done. Like, this is my work. I have to, because as even if it's a collaboration, you have to put in your family or whatever it is. So I feel it's important to just accept it, that this is what it is, and this is a part of my life. I'm the one who has put it all out together. So I feel acceptance is something that, goes in setting the boundary altogether. And I feel that, just accepting it altogether. Yes.
So Krishma, will you tell us a little bit about how you put up that boundary so that everybody has access to you, right? Like not everybody's going to get access to you all the time.
Right.
So how do you set that up?
So I want my audience to adapt the content that I want to post. I will never sit and post about my hangout with my friends, my outing with my family. Not because I don't want them to know, but the people who are my people already know it. Mm-hmm. Then why do I want to tell it to the other people whom I just don't want to tell about? Some people will not always accept seeing your personal life. They will even judge on that. No. As a creator, why is she posting so much about her personal life? Yeah, right. Doesn't she have content to post? Right. You're going to get it both sides, right? Either somebody's going to like it, you're going to get both the sides. Yeah, and there'll also be time, she's so authentic with her storytelling. Yeah. Her family's accepting them in her best way. Yeah. But then I am in that space wherein even if I want to show my family, I will show in the most authentic way, wherein I want my family to be very positive about everything. Right? Not just there has been stages where brands have come and told me that, why don't you make a video that you never knew the car and your parents are teaching you the car. Okay, to drive a car. Yeah. Or you didn't know there has been a real-time incident. And I'm like, when my dad has not taught me about that, why will I do that? Yeah, right. It's not authentic. It's your boundary. It's my boundary with the brands. I feel like not the audience, but we need to be boundaries with what content you're trying to post. Yes. Yes. Always it will be like this space wherein you're always struggling with both sides of, thoughts, and just be neutral with it. Yeah. So I think that's you make that decision. Yeah. So you've made it very clear about how you make that decision. Yes. How do you decide what stays offline and what goes online?
I think as creators, one thing we do have is the power to decide what we want online and what we want offline. And I've been very clear about this from the beginning. I've set this boundary that this is what I want my audience to see, because my content is mainly just fashion. So if you look at my content, it's just about the creative art that I put out there. It has nothing to do with my personal life.
This is your point of view, right? Yes. Your POV.
This is my POV. Yeah. And for me, my entire niche is about fashion. So why should I bring in other factors of my life? It has nothing to do with what I want people to see. So that we don't have the power of what happens once it's on the internet, but we do have the power to like Karishma said, post, figure out what we want to put on the internet. Recently I did put something a little more raw and personal, because I had this moment in my parents and all. It was a really happy milestone, and that is something I did want my audience to kind of see, and because they've been on this journey, and the reason that this actually happened, one of the main reasons. So I think things like that you want to put out, you can put out, because they do resonate with that. But I have very clear boundaries, like, sometimes people do ask for like a house tour or something like that, and very specific about, no, this also kind of is a part of my family's privacy, and I want to respect their boundaries, and this is not something I will do. And I think it's very important to have an audience who also understands that. So when you build your community, if you've been very straightforward about your boundaries, that this is what I am okay with, and I'm still a human being, so these are my boundaries, and you will have to respect that. Like, me being a content creator doesn't give you access to my entire life.
Yeah, exactly. It does not. That's absolutely true. So that's actually a little bit of Success Decoded is this. I think we need to be able to set boundaries, which is good that you communicate those, but you have to fully accept them within yourself too, and be okay with it. And absolutely is, as content creators, you don't have to have access. Like, for example, I never show my daughter's face, for example. I never show anything too personal about where I am. I'm never posting live where I am either. And these are boundaries that I've set for my own. And I have to say, I'm really grateful for my own community that I don't get a lot of negative feedback. I get a lot of questions, but I don't get a lot of thank God. But at the same time, like, I set those boundaries of, this is my daughter, will make that decision when she's older, or my husband or my family, like, they'll make that decision, because exactly like you said, like, if you are gonna be showing bikes or cars or whatever, why am I gonna go show something else? It's the same thing for me, even though I am a mother and I am a very, very big part of my life. I'm still making her have that choice. And that's a boundary. And I'm totally behind that boundary. Absolutely. Have you ever revealed anything on Instagram or posted about it and it made you rethink maybe a boundary that you had set? Like, it kind of backfired a little bit.
I feel I'm that one person I'll never post in real time, because I feel that there's so many decisions that happen. Something might go wrong, like if I post it, and I do feel in that. So I feel that there have been like she mentioned, that something, like, your audience does ask you, like, okay, give a house tour and everything. So I feel that is something that is a part of my life, that is all to my parents, and that is something that I don't want anybody to cross that boundary altogether. Like, for me, I create lifestyle content also. So for me, my audience knows that, I share that bond with my family altogether. So they know that, me and my mom, we twin together. So we have that, mother-daughter goals kind of thing, we have it. So I feel in that, my mom has also, accepted it, that okay, something is going to come our way and we have to be very well prepared. That's okay, you just let it go. And when you are very, happy in your own sense, certain things do not, affect you altogether. So I feel, but, we do keep something like, plans that we're having, like, for me, like if I'm traveling somewhere, or, if I'm going for certain things and everything. So I try to keep it to myself until unless it's not happened. So I believe in that. Certain things are meant to be kept for your own self.
Yeah, right.
Unless it does not happen.
You need to set that. I mean, and also because your whole brand is very, which you said from the beginning, which I think is great, very authentic and very unapologetic to who you are. 1000%, which is great. And definitely your personality. I mean, your personality is you, and you are your personality, and your personality is your brand. Like, for sure. That's definitely so. Is there a part of you, though, that we haven't seen yet, that you haven't shown your community, or have we seen it?
No, I feel there's a lot to decode. Like, you might see my social media, but I do have a very private life also.
Okay.
Which I feel my audience does not know.
Okay.
But I feel that I'm a very outspoken girl. So I feel I have that golden retriever energy. Like, I'm bubblier than champagne. So, like, if you ever see me around, I'm like very hyped up. And, like, I'm that one girl, because I feel love is a medicine the world needs. And I feel love is something that drives me, because I feel I've just taken it from my family altogether, because love is all you need, and love is something that heals you. So I feel there's a lot that my audience hasn't seen as of now, and I feel I want to decode it slowly and slowly. It's just been 2 years, so I feel slowly and steadily they'll get to decode Sarah.
So I'll ask a couple last questions. So let me talk a little bit about our emotions, since we talk about emotional intelligence, and this is getting the emotions behind, because that's really our success. Our success is not necessarily controlling those emotions, it's being aware. So we talked about awareness in your generation, self-awareness, and then it's the management of the emotions. So one argument that they make is that Gen Z doesn't particularly manage those emotions very well, because they're very emotional about things. Would you agree with that statement?
I feel as Gen Zs, what I feel is that we are very expressive. Like, for me, if I talk about myself, I'm very expressive about my emotions. I feel like when you just try to jottle up your emotions all together, I feel it just creates so much distress in total. So I feel it's so important to talk about your emotions. Like, I'm that one person, I like to write it down so it's not bottled up inside my own mind. So I feel that writing really helps for me. And I feel in what industry we are, like there's so much of, things like we put together, like we're out there, so there's so much, there's social pressure out, peer pressure, all there, and we have to look and present ourselves in a particular manner. So I feel there's so much pressure altogether, and you face it every day. Like, even if your video is not performed well, you're not doing well, and there are days where you feel that, am I not enough? So I feel that I am very vocal about it, and I feel it's so important that you should have somebody you can talk to about. Like, I like talking to, about my emotions. Like, okay, if I've had a bad day, I'll talk to my friend, I'll talk to my mom about it, that this is something that has happened in my life. So I feel I'm very vocal about that fact that it's very important to express yourself and your emotions, like what you are experiencing all together. And otherwise, it's going to create anger and distress in your own self. And, it just leads to aggression, it leads to frustration altogether. So I feel it's very important. And for me, I work out. So for me, I find my peace in working out, like going to the gym, going for Pilates. And I'm this one person, for me, dancing is like therapy. And I feel that for me, I love my work so much that I don't need a vacation from it. So I feel that I love it so much, and I have my bad days, but I know that, that if I've had a bad day, I'll have a good day also. And I'm a very, I'm a very spiritual girl. So I love praying also. So I feel it just heals a part of you. And it's very important to talk about your emotions, like what you feel all together. And just say it out there. And there's so many things right now, like if you don't want to talk to a friend about it, you can always talk to a therapist about it. Like, you can always talk, like it's always going to be confidential. You always have, like, I feel there's so many things all together. Like, now there is, like, you have ChatGPT also all together, you can talk. I feel there's so many things all together. There's so many parameters right now. And right now there is no stigma that, okay, you cannot go to a therapist to talk about. There's no stigma right now as Gen Zs. I feel that we have that access to it. So I feel that access is there.
So many different things there with Success Decoding. One is journaling, which is the number one. I would have I'm like a pro, like I'm totally for journaling because you're going to get it out. Actually, neuroscience wise, it actually helps you better process what's going on, but also reflect on it, right? I'm assuming you're reading also your journal. So you reflect and you learn and you grow. Also, a lot of things that she spoke about as well, which is not just self-awareness, emotional management, because you don't want to just swallow it or hold it in or whatever, because then it does exactly do what bottles up and becomes aggression, which is knowing that's what it's going to lead to. And then you have an outlet. So the outlet is sport or dance or whatever it is, or therapy, which is fantastic. Also, therapy is a great thing. So this is all great. But do you ever have those moments? I'll ask you, because I know you're going to give it to me straight. Do you ever have those moments where you're just totally overwhelmed? Like maybe it's tears, maybe it's not tears, maybe it's screaming, whatever it is. How do you manage that? And how would you advise your people to watch?
There's a lot of, space wherein such days do come up, because every now and then, as the social circle increases, you get that pressure. Right. You get that space up and you're very overwhelmed. Oh, today I have 5 things to do. At the same time, I don't want to do even one thing. Right. But I just feel like it's important to have that one passion or one thing that you can do every day for at least 10 minutes. Like, even if you want to go on a drive, go for it alone. Just release your emotions there. Just be very calm with yourself. Because the moment your emotions are within yourself, it is extremely visible on your content and yourself. Yes. It's not just that, okay, you are certainly feeling, okay, if today I don't want to talk to anyone, it's okay. I don't want to, save my emotion. I just don't want to do anything, but it's visible. Yes. Second moment, you'll see people telling you, oh, what's happened to you? Are you okay today? Yeah. Are you doing well? Are you fine? Yeah. They don't know about, what's with you, but they can see that. Yeah, it's very important to have, that 10 minutes of activity of whatever you like it. Let it be reading, let it be, journaling, as Sarah told. Let it be like, going on a drive or, even spiritual activity. Yes. That keeps you calm, because as creators, we have constant pressure around us. Especially living in a city like Bombay, which is faster than our thoughts, I feel. Yes, it is. Like, we're faster, but the city is more faster. You have to reach everywhere. Yeah. So I think that's something you should have to balance your emotion with the content.
Mhm.
And I think it'll work out for people.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
amazing. That's another tip from decoding success is you want to regulate your nervous system. That's what you're
Yeah.
doing is that 10 minutes resets your nervous system.
Yes.
Because exactly like what you said, your non-verbal communication, they see it, right?
They
You
see
see it on
it.
camera.
Yeah,
Like
it's
you
very
could be like,
visible.
you tell yourself, I'm fine, but you're really not fine, right?
Not
Everybody
fine.
sees
Yeah.
it and that's
And
it just spirals out of control. Also, one
Yeah.
thing leads to another level and then everybody sees and everybody comments and then we get into this negative
Yeah.
whole like
and then
trolling
you
cycle
get
again.
those self-doubts that okay,
Yeah.
today I'm going to an event, I'm all fine, but mom, I don't
Not
know what
feeling
is wrong with me. I
Yeah.
don't want to
Yeah.
know. I don't look fine. Do I look fine? You'll ask other people.
Yeah.
And the moment you ask that self-doubt within you
Yeah.
increases.
Yeah.
And it just, gets anxiety and, a lot of things that you don't want within yourself.
Right.
And breaks our whole confidence cycle that, okay, today I'm doing something productive, but I'm not able to do because it's all revolving around me.
Right.
I think 10 minutes is very important to give to yourself.
Yes.
Let it be anything.
Yeah.
Workout helps a lot. as
Workout
Sarah
helps
told.
a lot,
It
yeah.
helps a
Working
lot
out is
because you're
great.
strengthening yourself to keep calm
Yes.
and balancing your body at the same time.
Yeah.
So
Mind-body
it's very
connection is so
important.
huge.
Yeah.
Also, I wanted to add this thing that, as content creators, we are always thinking. So I feel there is no
Yeah.
stop for us. It's not a 9 to 5 job. So I feel
True.
I can get an idea at 2 a.m. at night. So I feel we're always working. So there is no stop for us. And even if we are even if we are traveling, we have to create content everywhere.
Yeah.
So I feel that is there. So there is no stop for us. So we're always thinking, and we're always working.
Yeah.
So there is no stop to that.
How do you? Let me ask you this question. So because both of you highlighted something really important, which is sometimes you just don't feel like it. I mean, some days, and that's really human, and that's very normal. But I think we fight ourselves on that, right? And sometimes, even though we don't feel like it, we have to. Like, you don't have a choice. So what do you do in those moments when you absolutely, because you just said you're a homebody. I'm also a homebody, so I totally get it. And then sometimes I'm just like, everybody's like, oh, but you're such an extrovert. And I'm like,
Yeah.
yes
have
and
to
no.
be.
I have to because I'm actually right in the middle, you know? So exactly, I'm ambivert, exactly. So I'm like, yeah, but some days I'm just like, I cannot do it. And my team will see me and they're like, no, today's not a day. And I'm like, yeah, sometimes you have that choice, but most of the time you don't. So then what do you do in that case?
In most cases, I do have a choice when it comes to events and stuff like that, which I feel like I'm really grateful for. I acknowledge my privilege. And I get this a lot from my manager that you need to put yourself out there. Like, you're a ghost when it comes to like offline presences. You need to go out there. So I do get that a lot because I keep saying no whenever I feel like my social battery is drained.
Yeah.
What I do feel really helps me is because I am someone who gets overstimulated very fast. So my friend actually told me about this technique where you need to start just like give yourself a second, like breath work really helps.
Breath work really
So
helps.
just like sit with yourself for a bit and really breathe, and also observe, like, is there something you can see, like the first thing you can see, the first thing you can smell, if you've heard about that
Yes.
that really helps me
Redirect your focus.
redirect my focus, and also just regulate my nervous system, like you mentioned. Also hot showers.
Yes.
And this might come off as something that a lot of people don't relate to, but music for plants. There's something called as music for plants.
I've heard about it. Yeah.
And it's actually meant for plants to grow. But
They
they have
must
these
grow.
really nice vibrational frequencies
Yes.
that kind of put your mind into this really nice calm trance.
Yes.
So I've realized that music really helps me calm down and keep my energy levels up, in a situation where I have to definitely attend an event.
Yeah.
So I make sure I just have a little conversation there. But like we spoke about boundaries again, when I feel like, okay, this is it, like I can't do this anymore, I take a step back and I'm back home. Like, there's no FOMO, like she
There's no FOMO.
There's JOMO, like we
I love JOMO. I've had JOMO.
JOMO. I love that.
I love this is one of your terms I absolutely love the most because I'm like, when somebody said that to me, I was like, oh my gosh, yes, that's where I've been. And one of my friends is here watching on the side. You can't see her, but she knows very well that like I have, and actually we all do. With this group of us, we actually have so much joy of missing out. Sometimes we'd rather all miss out on everything, and like it's a wonderful. It's actually very liberating when you have that. Let me ask this is going to be my second to last question, okay? If you really quickly want to give one tip to somebody that's struggling with the fear of missing out to switch it to the joy of missing out, what would you tell them?
Do something that you love. Like for me, if I'm missing an event, I would rather go for my dance classes. I'd rather hit the gym. I would rather go for shopping spree. Like I would be like, okay, I'm doing better. Like, or either I'm spending time with my family. So I feel do something that makes you you're passionate about something, so just go for it. And I feel that it's not required. You don't have to watch the story. It's already, you can mute everybody.
Yeah, exactly. It's like turn that off and then
Mute
focus into something, mute everyone.
Mute
Exactly.
everyone,
Just turn off. What about you? What would you say?
I think I would say that don't keep super high expectations of what you think it's going to be, because I feel like the fear of missing out happens when you just kind of in your head believe that, oh, it's going to be so good, I'm going to miss out on something that's fantastic, and it might actually be a really boring event. So don't keep that high level of expectation. Just believe that, okay, it's going to happen, but you're always going to keep missing out on something. So maybe if I'm missing out on this, I'm gaining this, like she said, like doing something we love in the process. So you'll always miss out on something. There's this beautiful quote from
Bunny.
Bunny, So what she kind of says is that, like, he kind of goes like, oh, if we stay for the sunset, we'll miss this light show, this beautiful light show event that's happening. So she goes like, you'll always miss out on something. So like where we are right now, let's appreciate that. So I feel like I really resonate.
So many different things before I get your perspective on it, but so many different things. So this is being in the present, which I mean, every single religion tells us that anyway. Any spirituality tells us being in the present. But in addition to that, it's perspective. So how you're looking at it. And then also in a very spiritual kind of way is that what is meant for you is meant for you. So stop resisting it. So please tell us. I didn't mean to take your answer, but go ahead.
I think there's this one thing that my mother has always told me in this whole journey from my childhood to my, I was also working on my content as well, that whatever's meant for you will come to you at the right time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like that's very important to understand, because when you try and when you trust and believing on that, you will never feel that you're missing out on something. Right. So the whole idea is to reverse the table of thinking that you're not missing out on something, but you are actually waiting for something to come to you.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's something that I'll suggest. My tip is that never feel that you're missing out on something, because everything will come to you at the right time.
Right.
And you've never explored yourself.
Right.
Like today, even coming at this stage, I feel like there's so much more to explore. I never knew I'll be doing content. I never knew I'll be balancing my work and content. I never knew that I'm going to ride a bike, do a drive. I never knew what's happening.
Have you heard of the burnt toast theory?
Yes,
I have. I feel like that's fantastic. I feel like that applies a lot here. In our language, we call it kannu tagichi reppik tagi. Basically, like what was supposed to hit your eye, hit your eye. And I think that's beautiful, because you're probably missing out on something or getting late for something to avoid like an accident or something, like an obstacle, like a bigger obstacle from happening. So going through a small obstacle instead.
And not resist that whole process, because the more resistance, that's actually where we suffer. Like if you just say, okay, this wasn't for me, or even better, I'm late, okay, then something is coming, or it will come. Like, but the more you resist it, that's where we get frustrated. This is actually what you said about your emotions and frustration, etc. But let me ask you this last question. What does success, I'm going to ask each of you, what does success look like for you right now? And what do you think it's going to look like for you in 5 years?
So I feel I always had this one quote in my mind that I don't want to die as an unknown citizen.
Okay.
So if I see my 7-year-old self, like she would be proud of me of where I am. I was a very lazy girl. I never used to do anything. I used to be that spoiled brat, like, everybody used to call me dad's princess. So I used to always be that girl. So I feel I have worked really hard. Like I was a healthy kid. I was 70 kgs. So from that coming to what I am right now, I feel it took in courage. Like I stay without my family. My family is in Shimla. I stay here alone. And for me, working every day, putting myself out there, like I'm a very social person. Like I love being around people. So I legit attend like 5 to 7 events in a day.
That's a lot.
So I feel it just takes courage. And I feel that for me, there's a long way to go right now. And I feel universe did give me a dream for a reason. I was always meant to do what I'm doing right now. And I love it so much. It's what I look up to every day. So for me, success would be going international in the coming years. So fantastic. Going international is my only goal, and I just want to be seen more. And as I mentioned, I don't want to die as an unknown citizen.
Okay, fantastic. Well, I don't think you will, because you're already very well known, so you already checked that box. Krishna, what do you say?
So for me, success, I'll say it in a way that I will never keep goals in my life. Like every person do have goals. Like every end of the year, I've been suggested and told that, okay, you should make a vision board. You're going to do this and this, but I don't want to do that. I want to just do everything and see what is something that I can't do.
Okay.
Because as humans, there is a brain power. Like it's scientifically proven
Yes.
and told that as humans, there's nothing that you can't do.
Absolutely. Unless you think you can't do it. If you
so
think you can't do it, then you won't.
Yes.
Otherwise, if you think you can, you will.
You can.
1000%.
But the only goal I'll be having in my life is to do all of that. I want to be healthy.
Yes.
I want to keep my
first.
emotional
Yeah.
balance,
Yeah.
very emotionally balanced.
Yeah.
I want to have positive people around me.
Yeah.
Because your surrounding matters a lot
Yes.
when you're in a content journey or
Yes.
as a public figure or
Yes.
as a speaker or anyone. So I think success for me will look like I have positive people around me. I'm healthy. I can do everything. I want to go international. I want to ride a bike, ride a car. I want to do a race. I want to do everything that people feel that girls can't do.
Okay.
So I want to inspire
Fantastic.
every other girl to have the courage to do everything in their life,
Okay.
which you think girls don't do and only guys do.
Okay. Fantastic.
So I think that's something I will look forward to in next 5 years.
Okay.
And then the other 50 years, I don't know. But I think a lot of doors are already open and I'm yet to explore a lot.
Fantastic. Great. And please, what is success? Do you think you're successful now? Where does success look like for you? I think you are as well. I think you all are. I think you've said so many wonderful things. I can't wait to recap it. So go ahead.
I feel like for me, because I'm very family oriented, my first, like when I actually felt like, oh, I am successful is when I saw my parents really proud of me.
Yes.
That was
Yes.
my first moment of, oh, okay, I have become someone that they are really proud of. They always were, but this was like a personal milestone to me. That I think that is very important. Also for me, I feel like success is, before I had to think twice before ordering something from like, Swiggy or Zomato or any like food platform, but now because I have adult money,
Yes.
it's like I can just order anything off my wish list. I think that is success to me.
Yes.
Like having financial independence is very important. So
Yes.
that is success to me. And people just resonating with my work, just having a big audience, big enough to, I'm very grateful to obviously God's grace. Just people really resonating with my work, a community now that, thrives of like people being creative and just genuinely likes authentic art. I think that is success to me.
Amazing. Okay, so now we've gotten to the rapid fire, and we'll do this before I give the things I took away from this, which has been amazing. So thank you so much. So everybody answer this really fast, just like one word, what comes straight to mind. I'm telling you, it's not going to be scary. Ready? So soft launch or hard launch?
Soft launch. Hard launch.
Okay, soft launch, like a hard and soft. Okay, texting all day or vanishing for 6 hours?
Vanishing for 6 hours.
Texting all day.
Texting all day. Okay, low effort date or high effort apology?
High effort apology.
High effort
Yes.
apology. Low effort date?
Dates, yeah.
Or high effort apology?
Apology, yeah.
High effort apology.
Okay.
Yes.
High effort.
Oversharing or mysterious energy?
Oversharing.
Oversharing because that's what I do
Oversharing.
unintentionally.
You overshare.
Okay, so situationship, which I always find really interesting, or single?
Single.
No, single.
Okay.
No
Yeah.
situation.
Situationship. It's like,
None.
please, like we need to make life any more complicated. Okay, therapy or retail therapy? Or maybe both.
Both.
So both. Yeah, okay.
Both.
All right. Getting closure or blocking swiftly?
Getting
closure.
closure.
Okay. Very healthy. Okay. Early sleeper or scrolling till 3 a.m.?
Scrolling till
Sleeper.
3 a.m.
Early
I'm that one. I love the brain rot content.
Oh, do you?
I'm
Okay.
watching that.
Yeah, I'm also an early sleeper, which,
Early sleeper.
early sleeper. Okay. Airport core or pajama core?
Airport go. I want to be well dressed.
I want to be well dressed
Always.
Fantastic. Okay, well, this has been phenomenal. My biggest takeaways is, the huge amount of self-awareness, also the eloquency, and amazing how all of you have been able to communicate exactly how you're feeling, how you're thinking in such an incredible way. And also these very healthy emotional awareness tips, like emotional regulation tips. We've got tons of them today. Self-awareness tips. We've got some of them today. Also, how if you are feeling like you're struggling, we've gotten so many different tips today. I know you've given so many different insights, and I think people have really seen not necessarily a different version of you because you're all very authentic, but now they get to see even more in depth in a different context.
Right.
So
Different
thank you for your
context
time so much. Thank you for being
so
here.
much.
Thank you for
I
having
really
us.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
It's a
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Good job.
Yay.